Hey guys, how's it going? You just got done watching the safety video. I'm just gonna go over how to use our actual planer in the shop. It's only gonna take a couple minutes, but it'll give you a good idea on how to operate it. So here is our little yellow DeWalt planer. This is connected to the dust chute, so you're going to want to make sure that that is open up there and that the dust collector is on before you turn on the machine. Over on this side here, all you want to do is kind of make sure that this is just on 3/4. What this means is I cannot lower this head any lower than 3/4 of an inch. So I cannot make my board less than 3/4 of an inch. If I move this down to 1/2 an inch, that means that I could keep going all the way to 1/2 an inch. And if you're not paying attention, you could do that. And we don't want our boards that skinny. 3/4 of an inch is the thinnest we want our boards. This one right here, okay, we're always going to keep it on 2 because that means that my head in there is turning less cuts per inch, which means we can get more out of the use of the knives. Whenever we do finishing on our boards, we use the time saver over there. That's a big sanding belt in there compared to the knives like he showed you in the safety video previous to this video. The other thing you'll notice here is I have max 1 full turn at a time for softwood and 1/2 a turn at a time for hardwood. Okay, so softwood in this shop is pretty much pine and cedar. Hardwood is going to be your maple, oak, walnut, and cherry. This is the on-off switch right here. And this guy over here is how I raise and lower my machine. Okay, so you can kind of see as I'm turning here that it is moving up and down. It might be kind of hard to see, but it is moving. In the video before this, he really did not talk about how to actually set up the planer so that you can run your boards through. So I'm going to talk about that next. So on some machines, you actually have to measure your board before you send it through, measure the thickness, so you know where to set this. The nice thing about this planer is there's a little thing under here. You can see that moving as I'm pushing it with my hand. Okay, so if I had a piece of wood in here and that was all the way to the top, I am taking off way too much, and I'm going to be putting way too much stress on the planer. Okay, remember it said up here max 1 full turn at a time and 1/2 a turn at a time for softwood and hardwood. What that means is after I get this set, I'm only going to want to go, we'll use hardwood as an example. I'm only going to want to lower this. See how it says that 1 revolution equals 1/16 of an inch. Okay, so if I had this set right now, I'm only going to want to lower it 1/2 a turn because that's what my permanent marker set up there. So I'm going to lower this. That's 1/2 a turn right there, 1/2 a revolution. That would have been a full revolution because I started at the bottom. Okay, so 1 revolution equals 1/16 of an inch. So that means that if I'm planing hardwood, I only want you guys to take off 1/32 of an inch each time, which is 1/2 a turn. So if I'm going a full turn, I'm taking 1/16 of an inch off, which is only for softwoods. Okay, and if you ever get confused, you can always just look on the handle and see, oh, okay, yep, I'm lowering it right now. Oh, okay, I'm raising it right now. Okay, so I'm going to try and give you a little bit of a closer up example here, but you can see this little plate under here when I push it up. I'm pushing that needle up. Also, So like I said before, that very tip number is 1/8 of an inch, and that's going to be way too much to take off of your wood. When we first set this and we push our piece of wood under there to check and see where the needle jumps up to, I want to start at that 0 line, just in case there's any, kind of like you talked about in the last video, just in case like when you put this in, it's skinnier on this end than it is on this end. So we don't have the planer like completely stop on us. All right, so I've lowered the head now using the handle over here. Okay, I've lowered the head, and now you can kind of hear it's just barely grazing that little bracket under there right now. I'm gonna lower this another 1/2 turn and we'll see where it's sitting. Okay, I'm still at my 0 mark, so I'm gonna lower it another 1/2 turn. Okay, my needle's still not moving, so I'm gonna keep going until I see it jump just slightly. Okay, now I don't want to start there, so I'm gonna back it off that 1/2 turn again, and that's where I'm gonna send it through my first time through at. Okay, so I've got the dust collector on, got my safety glasses on, hair up. Also need to wear ear protection like he said in the safety video because it's very loud. If you're walking by my door when we're using this, you can hear this like on the other side of the hallway. It's very loud and you will start to wreck your ears if you do not wear either the ear muffs or the earplugs. So I've got it set to where I want it to. I lowered the head using that handle so that when I slide this under there, that needle is barely moving. And everything else is set up, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on and run it through. So I ran it through once, and I was kind of listening to make sure that it was cutting the full length of the board. If it was, that means that the top of your board is nice and smooth and good to go. Now what I'm going to do now is lower my head 1/2 turn because we're pretending this is hardwood, because most of you guys have hardwood for your cutting board. So remember, hardwood is only 1/2 turn of the handle. Okay, see it there, 1/2 turn. And you do not have to shut it off every time that you go to lower this. Okay, there's 1/2 turn right there. You don't have to shut it off. I only shut it off so that you can hear me talking. So this was the side I just sent through right here. I am now gonna flip it over and send it through on this side. Now if you have multiple boards, you're going to want to set the thickness here to the thickest board that you have. And then you're going to run them all through the planer at that one setting. And then once they've all gone through the planer at that one setting, you're going to flip all your boards over and do the other face and lower your wheel. Move your wheel 1/2 that turn so that the head goes down, and then you send them all through again at the same thickness.